Hey, it's John and Mike, brew-dudes.com! And here we are, the fourth and final installment of Dryish January.
Dryish January, yep.
I said, oh wow, we have a copper ale, but no, I have been corrected. This is a lager. Surprising addition to our Dryish January series. And I think that off camera, Mike said, well, for the lack of a better term, this is a Munich lager?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll explain why that is.
Well, yeah, please do.
All right.
But this is looking good, so
yep.
Let's see if it tastes good.
So, so for this one, building off of the last beer, which had more base malt, I wanted to try to fit the criteria of the low ABV beer with something that's all base malt, right? And the best way I felt to do that was to dive into using a very heavy hand of Munich Malt.
I see.
Okay? Because that brings a lot of bready flavors, a lot of biscuit flavors. It carries some body on its own. So I had 3.5 pounds of Munich, light colored Munich, and I built that back up then on top of that with another 1.5 pounds of Brewers Malt. So we're talking 5 pounds altogether in the 3.5 gallon batch, blah, blah, blah. We've done it before. So it's that. The hops in this is just 2 ounces of Styrian Golding at 3% alpha acid. So that's why it's 2 ounces and 3.5 gallons. For just 30 minutes though, I'm trying to find that middle ground of getting enough IBUs, but carrying some flavor of the hop quality into it. I fermented this with a Cellar Science German, which is just another derivative of the Weihenstephaner 3470.
Sure.
But I've had great luck with that. I know I can ferment that at a basement temperature of say 65, get a really clean ferment, get an expected ferment, and have it go relatively quickly without having to do other weird things like pressure ferment and all that. Blah blah blah. There Mike goes again. The other thing, because it was going to be all base malt, and I felt really strongly, I was hoping that the Munich Malt would give me what I want in the completeness of a beer thing. I dared to dream, and I mashed this at 154.
Why not?
Rather than push body into some weird place with all that Munich, I figured, let's just see what happens. And I also extended this mash to 75 minutes, so it's actually a little bit longer for a really good, complete, full mash.
Yep.
My water was, again, 50-50 spring and tap, a little lactic acid, a little bit gypsum, and where's my tag?
Tagger.
Sorry. So this is so this one, the OG in this one was 1042.
Oh,
so
no.
Just taking it up a little bit more.
Oh no.
But it finished at 1015, achieving me a 3.5 ABV lager, baby.
Yeah. Exactly.
So there you go.
Certainly when it comes to ales, I don't know, lagers are better styles, I think, for the lower ABVs anyway. So
yeah,
for sure. I mean,
boy.
Yeah, I think that if you were to chart the progression of quality here in Dryish January, you got to be super proud about this one, right?
You're finishing the month strong with this beer.
This is great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that everything that you did to get yourself set up for a great fermentation, it all played out. I think for everything you just described, because there's no flaws in the taste here. The Munich Malt is shining through.
Yeah.
It's doing what you think it would do.
Yep.
And it tastes like a typical lager would. Yeah, I can tell that it's probably a little lighter in body than what I make it like the standard, starting at a starting gravity of 10 in the 1050s or something like that, and getting down to the teens. Yep. But other than that, everything else is like checking the boxes of a typical lager for me. Your grain bill, right?
Yep.
You're not going with like say American 2-row or 6-row or anything like that.
Yep.
We're talking continental European malts and ones that are a little higher kiln anyway. Yeah, I mean this is what I would expect.
I mean, as this lagers in the keg for a little bit longer, it'll clear out and be even more attractive than it already is. And it's I'll be really happy with this one. Then I think just as it matures a little bit more, it's going to get a little crisper, and that Styrian Goldings is just going to sort of continue to spice up and just taste really good.
Yep.
You know,
Oh,
but
I
it
agree.
already tastes pretty good. I mean,
Yeah.
I love the hopping it right in the middle of the boil and just trying to get some
Yeah.
everything you need all at once from that
Yeah,
one
the
addition.
flavor in the aftertaste is really nice. It's kind of a light grassy, mostly herbal.
Yep.
You know, a little spice. You know, it's very nice. You know, I think
it's like an Americanized palate version of using those European hops. Right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it's great.
Totally.
Super cool.
Have to say, I don't know if the water isn't contributing any differences that I would perceive.
I've been pretty happy with the 50-50 split
Yeah.
of the tap water. I'm adding Camden to the water too, just
Yeah.
to watch out for that, because I would think that
The chlorine.
any of that
yeah.
chlorine type of thing would really stand out
Yeah.
with so little
Sure.
everything else going
Okay.
on in all of these beers. But
It's not there.
in these two cases where
Yeah.
I've done the split, it's worked out pretty well.
Yeah, yeah. This is a home run. I think this is really, really good. And like I said, I was sort of saying the progression of like week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. They've all gotten progressively. I don't know if it's better, but like certainly like you're honing a little bit of the of your practice here.
Yep.
So if you were to go back to that brown ale, is there anything you'd do differently? Maybe to
I'd sacrifice some specialty malt for a little bit more base malt, or maybe I would just bring in another 3 or 4% base malt and not be afraid to get up to 1040, 1042. I could always switch the yeast out to something a little less attenuative. Someone had mentioned even Windsor, which I've used before, and that is got a fairly low attenuation rate. So that allows you to build more body in and then build more flavor in and still stay in that cap, right? I mean, my highest one was 3.8, so I mean, I still have room to go if I wanted to really push it to 4%. But
I think you set that level. You said I'm going to do everything under 4% alcohol by volume, and that's how it's going to be. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, great. Cellar Science, another.
I love their whole line of products.
Yeah, I haven't been disappointed yet.
Yep.
Everything I've ever used, I've been very happy with the outcome. So. Interesting. Check out Cellar Science. That's very nice. I don't know, different strains of yeast, but ones you're probably familiar with, right? Mm-hmm. They just they perform real well. I'm very happy with it. All right. Well, that concludes.
That concludes
Dryish
the beers.
January. Yeah. January will continue on, but the dryish part is over. So there you go. You know. Like I said in the very beginning, we aren't going to like stay dryish all January. You know, we just can't do that.
It's got to rain sometimes.
We're brew dudes. That's just the way it is. But hopefully you enjoyed the series, and certainly it's another one of these challenges we put ourselves through to see what we can do, master the skills we've already obtained, and then try to apply it to some other goal, which I think, Mike's been successful 4 times in a row. Very good. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel. We do this kind of thing every single week. For John and Mike, brew-dudes.com. Cheers.